say, over the last week about AIS. Helen, you're online, I think, somewhere there, are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
You know, hiya, Helen. In terms
Hi, guys.
of the uptake, have you seen an increase now in the number of declarations going through from the trade?
Yeah, so the declarations, yeah, they are increasing and it's continuing. More and more traders are coming in every day. So that's what we would have expected.
Yeah.
And volumes are going up. Again, I suppose we probably would have hoped it would have been higher, but they are increasing day on day. What we are still finding is that companies or agents, they're still getting those rejections, a lot down to just error messages and just interpreting the messages. But look, some, we're getting positive feedback, and then negative feedback is more around the whole training of staff and the timing it's taking to getting staff familiar with the system and to get used to the new system. Those that are in and using it on a regular basis, I was talking to one agent yesterday and she was very happy and likes the system. But again, they're using it the whole time now, so I suppose they're used to it. But look, it's like any new system. It's taking people a while to get used to it and get used to the new error messages and error message types and the data sets. So that's to be expected.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of the general feedback we would have as well, in that it's understanding the error messages and then trying to contact the help desk and maybe get an answer back from the help desk. Some members I know are struggling getting answers back from the help desk as well. So I suppose it's good that we've seen an increase. Are there many still going through the AEP system? Can you see that? Can you segregate imports and exports on the AEP system?
Yeah, so there's still a good few going through AEP, and now I don't have the stats on it. I'm not sure even if Donal is in on the call now. There would be, I suppose, what we're finding is if someone wants to get something through very quickly, they don't want to take that risk of inputting it into AIS. So look, there was, we had, as I said, like last week, there were a few issues. Some of them have been rectified, which is good. We have a new release going into the system now on Monday, and that's going to sort out another few issues. So again, once they're rectified, it will help, I suppose, the processing of the declarations, because I do understand that there has been some delays in relation to, getting clearance and that sort of thing. So again, I'm hoping by Monday that should be rectified.
Okay.
Now I suppose I get the concern in relation to, I suppose when people contact our help desk, they're looking for a response straight away. It's not a huge team. I think that maybe there's 10 or so in it. And we are pulling resources from other areas to help out that team. They're getting a lot of queries. As I said, the queries are huge. And they see some of those queries are to do with some basic error messages that I suppose maybe shouldn't really be coming into them in the first place. But they are, like, they might be a day behind in relation to some of the responding to some queries. But again, we're trying to see how we can help them and maybe help them better to deal with those queries in a more efficient manner. But they are inundated with queries, so if people are waiting for responses, it is because they are absolutely up to their eyes dealing with queries.
And is there kind of an FAQ list that maybe we could point members to, where instead of always troubling you with a query that somebody else has already come up with, that maybe they could look at quicker?
I'm not sure, but I can check it out, and maybe it's something that we need to put in place. Or like I was talking to Donal about this morning, and we might see if we can publish something like of the top maybe 5 errors that traders are commonly putting in. If we can get those out and tell the trade this is what you should be doing, it might alleviate and take away some of those queries from the help desk and let them deal with real problem queries really.
Yeah,
So that's what
exactly.
myself and Donal will take that away and try get something out, maybe either at the end of this week. I know tomorrow is Friday, or Monday. So we'll hurry up and try get something out on that.
I know. Look, everything's crashing in now. It's unreal. And is it possible for you to see, is there one particular software provider that is performing better from the front end, a Time IT or a customs wise? Can you see that, or do you just see the end result of the declaration coming in and the query?
Yeah, so normally we wouldn't, like our staff wouldn't have a clue who the
Yeah.
custom software provider is. I might know if I went in and looked. I don't really go, I suppose I'm not really on the operational side. So I know nobody has said, oh, there's a particular software company. So I'm not, as I said, we haven't done an analysis on that.
Okay. Yeah, probably hard for you to see on your side anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was one, I think a specific one. Very few AIS entries have gone red or orange, and therefore very little information has had to be uploaded to revenue. The clearance staff and revenue appear to have issues in seeing this information, and it does do a message via my inquiries in some cases to trigger a response, but you cannot quote the AIS entry on my inquiries as there is insufficient space to do so. And then
just on that, right. I know I did hear that they couldn't input the MRN in my inquiries. I suppose first of all, if it's documents, they should be uploaded in the first place into AIS. We will have an identifier for revenue officers so that they can actually see that the documentation is uploaded. So that's not there at the moment. At the moment, they'll actually have to go into the case and look to see are the documents there, but that will be there very soon. So that'll make it easier for our officers. In relation to my inquiries, if you have to use my inquiries to communicate, I did hear that there was, you can't put in the MRN. We have raised that with our IT colleagues, so they are fixing that, so you will be able to reference the MRN number going forward. I'll let you know when that's fixed. There's a workaround. I'll forward the workaround to you, and you can send it out to your members for the time being. But once that's fixed, you'll be able to reference the MRN in the reference field in the My Inquiries and send it in. But as I said, there is a workaround for that for the moment. But in the meantime, if you are uploading documents, do send them in using the AIS, through AIS is what I want to say.
yeah, it's the follow up then is the problem. We use My Inquiries then to follow up, particularly when there's a time lag in getting the answer. So that's the issue there. So if there's a workaround, that's great, and then there'll be a more permanent fix then at some point. Yeah, good. And then we had a query about one member who had a red routing from Canada. And in the past, well, I just read that as it is. I sent the docs via AIS and green routing was received in a couple of hours. Previously, these would route green in AEP. Also had 2 yellow routings ex-China. This product was flagged by BIPs about 2 years ago, but the profile was removed and all SADs were routing green in AEP. When shipments route yellow, we have to send docs to BIP and also the Port Health and wait for them to release and advise customs. There's a lot of work time spent sending docs when it appears that it is not necessary. I suppose that brings us back to the old point about having a single window where we can, through maybe AIS, we can send all the documents through a single window and deal with agriculture and the BIPs and so on. But we're not particularly close to that yet, are we?
Not yet, but it is something that's coming down the line. I do know that in relation to the one of the departments had asked us to put on profiles or to target certain products. So like we had got a query in relation to why did something go red or go yellow in in AIS, and it's green in AEP. So basically we only got some instruction from one of the agencies to target a certain chapter, and I don't know if this is the issue. the profile actually wasn't updated in AAP until this week. So now the two systems are aligned. So if someone is putting something through in AAP and the same thing through in AIS, you should get yellow on both. But initially last week, you would only have got yellow on AIS and not AAP, but they have been updated. If there is a problem in relation to the hits from an agency perspective, well, it's the agencies that are instructing us to put on the profile. So we're instructed by them to target whatever chapters that we have to target. So look, again, I suppose that's something, if they have to raise it with the agency, they can do that. But again, we're just implementing based on what the agencies are asking us to do. So that's that on that. The red routing from Canada, what was that, Tom?
The red routing, well, I think what they're saying is previously that would have routed green in AEP.
Okay. I do know that there may have been an error on one or two, the way the profiles were issued, and that was fixed this morning. So if maybe it was one of those, I'm not too sure. If they want to send me in the MRN, just send me the MRN number so I can just check it, just to make sure that it isn't hitting in error. So if they can just send that to me, that's no problem. We'll check it out with our risk unit, just to make sure that it's not targeting something that it shouldn't be, and we can just check that out. So just, as I said, just you can just tell them to send an email to me, and I'll check that out for them.
You know who that member is, Seamus. I sent that in, yeah. Okay. And then a couple of questions have come in the chat box. Being in Cork and using the upload on AIS, should orange or red routings are received? We have no contacts in Dublin Shannon revenue. Should we need check on progress with release? I'm not quite sure. Jen or Man, do you want to just unmute yourself and ask that question, because I'm probably not reading it out correctly?
Yeah, hello there. Just wanted to. If revenue are looking for, say, an extra bit of information for the documents for an entry, how do they contact us in relation to the request? Previously it was done through Revenue Online.
Through my inquiries, was it?
Yeah.
Probably the same, Helen, is it? If we upload documents.
Okay, so so if revenue are looking for additional information, they will probably contact you via my inquiries on that one.
Okay. But how do they know what office sent it?
Get that?
Because we'll be using the same VAT number for Dublin and Shannon.
So basically, like if revenue, but they will correspond. Would you not, when you're sending in, they'll have a case number, I presume, a LIORI number and a reference to the MRN. So they'll just go back via my inquiries.
Okay.
Now there is another facility in AIS. It's a document type called 1Q99. I think it's 1Q99. It's basically a document other. They may go back to you via AIS using that document, and what they will do is they'll just type into that document what they're requesting. So even though it's not an actual document, they may use that and go back to you via AIS.
Okay, on a rejection, yeah. Okay, grand. That's great. Thanks.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Another one came in there. Somebody pre-entered a number of SADs in AIS for shipments travelling on the same ship and received a pre-lodgement accepted. However, when the ship arrived, only some of the SADs got routings.
Yeah, so Tom, there was an error in our system in relation to some of the arrivals and where declarations were pre-lodged. So we have looked at that, and I think it's rectified. What they can do like, because someone was on to me last week about this, so we have raised it with our IT team, and I'm hoping that is rectified, and if it's not, that it will be in this release 16. Again, if Donal was on the call, I'll just check and see there.
Donal, are you out there? Guess not.
What I would say, if that happens again, I'll escalate it up, just because that's unusual. As they said, most of them, or maybe a lot of them went through, but some of them got stuck. So it is a technical glitch. So if it does happen again, send it on to me so I can actually escalate it with our IT developers.
Okay, they just came back there to say it only happened this morning, actually. Okay,
well, just even if they send that on to me, contact me directly. You have my email address, hbrennan@revenue.ie.
You just pop it in the chat box there, Seamus, please. The company is clearing. Well, I think there's probably a. We'll come to that. Maybe I think that's more of a Brexit question. We'll come to it maybe in a few minutes. Anything else there on the AIS? Yeah, I suppose the concern about, are you comfortable proceeding with AIS exclusively, given that we're having these issues still?
Possibly. My answer would be probably no, not really. What we have done, we have escalated the concerns. Like, we had the call last week, and we realized that there are people, and they're finding it difficult, especially in the current climate, to get ready and to implement AIS fully. So what I have done is I have escalated the concerns to senior management, just to highlighting that it would probably be no harm if we could extend it for another number of weeks, at least into early next year. It would give everybody a chance to get used to the new system, and especially just the year that we're in. It's difficult. People are working from home. It is hard to train staff, etc. So as I said, I've escalated the concerns upwards. There was an issue in relation to the PBN. The PBN was built just to accept the MRN of the AIS MRN, and that was probably one of the blockages in relation to really wanting to have to implement AIS fully before December. I do know that our IT department are looking at that, and look, as of now, it is still the 15th, but I suppose, as I said, I have escalated it up. There is CCC tomorrow. The Customs Consultative Committee is meeting tomorrow. If there is any developments, it will be announced at that. So look, I can't say for sure, but maybe I would be hopeful that.
We just lost you there, Helen. Sorry, you went mute there just after you were hopeful. Thanks, Ian. Did you mute Helen, Seamus? You heard enough.
Come on now, I did not do that.
Yeah, we have you back now. You were just at the point where you were hopeful, Helen. And I suppose to finish, I think we have the message. So we'll be at the CCC tomorrow anyway, and then if we have an update, we'll bring it back to the members. And I think we're probably all hopeful that we might get some method of extending this, because there are a lot of issues still.
Yeah, I think, look, I mean, as I said, we've raised the issues, and I think even from my perspective, I've seen what's coming in relation to your concerns, and it is something that I have kind of escalated up the line. And look, I'm sure if it's possible at all, it will be considered, and maybe we will get an extension. I will be hopeful, but again, again, I just can't confirm that. But look, the CCC is on tomorrow, so look, hopefully you'll have you'll get some news that might be welcoming at that.
Yeah. And then we have a question there about uploading documents. Can we upload them as one PDF rather than uploading each document individually?
That's a good question. I know there's separate document types. I'll check that out. That's not something that came up before. So I'll check that out and I'll come back to you whether it's possible to put them all into one document. I would probably say yes, but again, I'd better check it with with the officers on the ground, and are they happy enough with that way of doing it? So let me come back to you on that.
Okay. And then another question came in about somebody uploaded 2 entries on AIS, one yellow and one red. Nothing back for a day or so, so they sent a message via Ross. And then Ross said they did not receive the upload, and they've no way to see if Ross received the upload or not, I guess is their query. So yeah, we've no audit trail really. If we send something in, we've no way of knowing is it received. Okay,
do you not get so they upload the entries and they got a yellow route, they got their 4-6, or they got their routing message back, I presume.
They had a yellow routing on one and a red routing on the other.
Okay. And then what, did they submit their documentation then after that?
That's Galaxy A8. I don't know who it is. If you want to unmute there and just let us know the process. Or maybe they're shy. But it seems that they would have uploaded. I kind of maybe understand where they're coming from. I think if you upload through My Inquiries, you don't have a receipt, do you, to say that it has been received by Revenue. You're dependent on Revenue coming back with whatever action they're taking.
If you upload in My Inquiries, is it, Tom? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess when they're saying they uploaded through Ross, so I guess they mean My Inquiries.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't really know unless the officer interacts with you. You've no idea.
Yeah.
It's probably a conversation we'd like to have separately as well, just in terms of how that whole thing works in the future. Because you know, we send the documents in and then we wait. So then how long should we wait, and how soon do you go back to kind of jiggle to say, well, look, we need an answer on this, you know?
Okay. Okay.
If an officer's going off duty and that type of thing. So I think there's a broader conversation. It's not an AIS maybe specific conversation that we need to have. But we'll take that point, Galaxy A8. If you take a note of it, Seamus, we'll the right one.
Sorry. Hello? Hello?
Oh, sorry, there you are. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. It's Emerald Freight here. Yeah, it was myself that put that inquiry in. Yeah, I uploaded the 2 entries on AIS, and according to my system, it did say sent. And this morning then I had no response on the yellow one, and I asked Ross, through Ross, I asked, had they received the paperwork, and they said no. So I did give them the upload then on Ross, which I'm still waiting for anyway. But that was the second time I'd uploaded, and they had said that they hadn't received it.
So the upload was through AIS.
Okay.
The upload was originally through AIS.
Yeah.
When I heard nothing back, I went through My Inquiries.
Okay. Okay. Will you send on the MRN to me, please, so I can follow up on that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, so I suppose then there's another question there. When we send docs on the AIS system, is it possible to get a confirmation from Revenue that they have received them? I don't know.
Okay.
If something can be.
I'll check that out, Tom. I actually presume that they automatically get an acknowledgement that they have been sent in, but maybe not. Maybe that's not the case. I'll check that out. It might, if it's not happening that might be something that we have to put in as a request on the development. So we mightn't get that straight away, but it's something that we could look for going forward. So just leave that one with me. I'll check it out and I'll come back.
Great, thanks. Then we have a query here. There was a payment made to customs via Ross going to a TAN account. Normally it would happen immediately, but this one took 2 days to be credited to the account. Will this be like this going forward?
Again, I wouldn't imagine so. Yeah, like I do know that there, well, no, I didn't hear of that being an issue, but that shouldn't be happening. Again, things like that, just what I would be doing is sending the MRN and transaction ID to e-customs. You can CC me so we can follow up. Like, we do have live meetings every morning to discuss any issues, because again, it is a new system. There can be technical issues. We just need to get them rectified straight away. So do send, if there's something like that that's happening and it shouldn't be happening, send them to us. It could be something that we're already looking at, and it could be rectified in this release in 16. Donald's not on the call now. He'd be more familiar with what's gone through for that fix. But just, yeah, do send it to me and I'll follow up on that.
Is there an email address other than yours, Helen, or do you want us to send it to you? You could end up with a very full inbox.
No, it doesn't matter. Like, you can send, if it's probably send it to the e-customs help desk. The only thing is they are much inundated with queries. So if it's something that if they CC me, at least I can see, okay, we're dealing with this on our live call, there is an issue or not, and I'll know straight away whether there's a problem or not, and also whether to bring it up at our live meetings, which we have on a daily basis. So look, I don't mind if they do CC me. It's fine. It's grand.
Okay. And sorry, John and Fast Freight, it's the phone number we can call when we need to speak with customs read this issue. Which issue, John? Because your message may have come in after. If you want to unmute there, John, and just let us know. Are you there, John? Or, sorry, you've no mic. Well, which issue was it, John? Was it the payment issue, or was it the document upload issue? Right, so it was the document upload issue. So I suppose we phoned the help desk, really, isn't it, Helen? When we have an issue with a document upload, for example, where we're trying to check have the documents gone in, would it be the help desk or would it be customs office dealing with it that we'd want to phone?
That's that you want confirmation to say that the documentation has been received. Will you just leave that one with me? No, don't send that into the help desk. Leave that one with me, and I'm going to check after this call. First of all, should they be getting a message back? Yeah. If they should be getting a message back and they didn't, well then I'll get them to send in the MRN number to me, and I'll raise it with our help desk straight away. If it's a case that they shouldn't be getting a message back, well then, if that's something that you want, we can see, can we get that in a further release? You won't have it this side of Christmas, but maybe later, early in the new year, we might be able to get that for you. But again, I just need to check out systematically, should they be getting the response that once they've sent in the documentation, that they should be getting an acknowledgement. And if that's the case and they didn't, well then we'll follow up.
Okay. Well, yeah, so we do have a phone number anyway, haven't we, Seamus, for the help desk that we can share with John, just for...
Yeah, it's the 01738 3677. I'll put it in the chat.
General inquiries, Helen, I think really you probably need to have the contact number.
Yeah.
And then there was a query. So it's just saying, so one of our members is saying he needs the this period to be extended out to the new year because the software provider in the last few days have told them that they can't update both the AIS and the AEP system. When I guess they must have an automated process where it's been created from the jobs into the AIS and AEP system for exports and imports. And until but they cannot run both AEP and AIS at the same time, and until exports package is complete, we cannot do import entries on AIS. So that's a specific software issue, I think, that this company, this member is having. If any other members are having that, maybe they just let us know. It's not really one for Helen's team, it's more one on our side, I guess, to try and find a solution on that one. Will the help desk be available 24/7 from January 2021?
Yes, so the lines will be extended. I suppose the help desk are based in Nina, and they're currently operating 9 to 5. So it's envisaged that the hours will be extended come January 1st. In addition, then when they're not working, the queries will be handled by another area. So look, I mean, come January the 1st, we do know that trade will be coming in at different hours of the morning. It's different to now. So there will be, I can't say exactly what the availability of the help desk is, but I'll actually check it out just to see what the plan is. I'm sure there's a plan already in place in relation to the support that will be available to trade. There will be certainly support. We have staff, as I said, I think previously, working 24/7. So it may not be my colleagues in Nina, but they will be somewhere else. So I'll just verify with you in relation to the hours and the contacts and the availability.
Great. I don't think there's anything else come in there, Seamus. That's all I can see in the chat box.
Seems to be it for now. All right.
So I just scroll back up. There was one I kind of think it might have been more of a Brexit-y type one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
If a company is clearing on wheels and an ENS declaration is required for each shipment, how is this done? And our system has the option to do a combined ENS and G4 declaration. Is this the same thing?
Look, I don't know how the system is set up to do a combined G4 and an ENS. I'm not sure. I don't think that is the case. I mean, when we're talking about Brexit, if something is coming in RoRo from the UK, there is a requirement for the safety and security declaration. That's not combined with any other declaration. It's a safety and security declaration. There is a limitation on the number of items that can be put on that. It is at 200, but the MRN of that safety and security declaration needs to be in the PBN. And again, you're kind of getting into different scenarios. If the declaration is pre-lodged and also that MRN of that customs import declaration is in the PBN, well then there is no requirement for the G4. Because the pre-lodged declaration can act as the temporary storage declaration. But what I would say, like anything coming from the UK, safety and security declarations will be required.
And then companies moving pharma products from London to Belfast via Dublin. And can this continue in January, and what customs formalities will be required?
Did they say via Dublin?
Yeah. So GB to NI via ROI.
Okay, so again, like if they're moving them under transit to their facility in Belfast, again, that's fine. They'll come in through Dublin Port. The MRN of the transit declaration will be in the PBN and the safety and security declaration, and they can move up to to Northern Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's all in the chat box. Unless anybody else wants to put anything in there now or call out a question.
Sorry, Tom, can I ask something?
Yes, Paul.
AIS, is that on the Revenue's website or on Ross's website, or where is it? Or is it just my software doesn't have it because I can't find it? So if I want to load it up on AIS, where is it? At the moment, it's, you know, with AEP, you just go onto Ross Online and bang in your entries when you have an orange or red. If you have the same thing with AIS, where is that link? Is it on the Revenue's website, or where is it?
Well, your software provider should be giving it to you. If you're using the AEP system, I guess most of them have given us options where you select AEP or AIS when you access the system.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, Tom. It'll be however your software provider has set you up.
Okay, thank you.
John Dawson.
Helen, could I ask you about who would I speak to regarding simplified procedures for small packages and all that going out in bulk or in groupage to the UK? Who's the best person to talk to regarding that? Or is there simplified procedures for it?
Yeah, like there probably is a simplified declaration on the way out. The best person probably to talk to is Paul Harty. He's over the simplifications unit.
Okay, right. Okay.
Have you dealt with Paul before, John?
I know Paul, Helen. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd contact Paul if it's in relation to looking for any sort of simplification authorization.
Okay. Do you know if there is a simplification for that?
Well, we do have a simplified at export, but we don't, I suppose, have too much uptake on it because there's not a huge, I suppose, benefit of the simplification. But again, I suppose I discussed it with Paul. It probably what's in place now and what people avail of today differs because of, you know, volumes aren't as high and all the rest. So look, it may be something that would be of use to you. So yeah, I check it out with Paul.
Okay. The main number of do you have a number from there? He's in Nina, isn't he? 067.
Yeah, do you know what? Will I just give you his will I send you an email after just giving you his details?
Please,
he mightn't be too fond if I give him out to everybody on the call.
98 people on them.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thanks.
I have John's contact details, so I'll send you an email.
Right.
Thanks, Helen. Thanks a million.
No problem.
Okay.
In the AIS system, will the duties and taxes be taken from the deferred account when the SAD is accepted, or will it only be deducted after the goods receive a routing? If we load a shipment based on a pre-lodged SAD, could it be rejected while on board the ship? I suppose for insufficient funds, maybe.
Yeah, no, it only, like, as far as I know, the money will only be, like, if something went under control, it's not until the declaration is released that the money is going to be taken. So if something goes under control and it's red or orange, that has to be dealt with before revenue will actually take the duties.
This might be more a Brexit-y related one, though. Maybe that because we're pre-lodging our declarations, and the PBN.
Yeah, so even
going to route them.
Yeah, so even with the pre-lodging, they'll pre-lodge the declaration and they will get their routing. They should get their routing 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours before the ship is due into Dublin or Rosslare. At that stage, once they get their routing, the declaration is accepted. If the routing is green, it'll automatically, you know, if it's green and the declaration is released, well, then the duties will become payable, and that's fine. But if the declaration went under control or something like that happens, as far as I know, at that stage, the duties wouldn't be deducted until the actual declaration is released.
Yeah, great. And then for Ro-Ro exports loading from the Republic of Ireland via Warren Point port, what would the procedure be?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. That I'd have to get the Brexit unit just to come back on that. Like I do know in relation to the exports, the PBN comes into play and all of that, but in relation to going out via Warren Point, I'll just get, maybe if they could send the email into the Brexit queries at revenue.ie, and they'll come back to them on that.
Yeah.
Brian here. Helen, can I ask you a question, please, in relation to Brexit, of course, which is the main topic. With e-manifest of the B2C, in other words, the small packages where they have a lower value coming in.
Yeah.
Is it now that there will be e-manifest where a bulk entry can be lodged, that AIS will not accept this come the 1st of January?
Sorry, say that again, that AIS...
is not going to accept that. It has to be an individual SAD document or declaration for each importer, personnel, consumer of products from Ireland. So basically the B2C, where e-manifest, you have the integrators who have the e-manifest, the likes of FedEx, UPS and all of that, but they can do a single bulk entry for at this moment in time in AEP. So come the 1st of January, when we have the border up and there must be declarations made for every single party who is importing from a personal level. So in other words, the consumer at the end of the day. Is that correct? There is no facility for bulk entries or bulk declarations, but it must be on an individual for each person who's importing. Can you just do you understand where I'm coming from?
We've lost Helen there, Brian.
Okay, no problem. She may come back, she may not.
Yeah,
I got
lost
experience with this in relation to e-manifesting and the new regulations.
Yeah, because I think they have removed that e-manifest right enough. So
yeah, they did. The statement made by the revenue said that the e-manifesting wouldn't be available, but I understand there's been an extension to that.
Yeah.
Operators. Now, I'm not 100% certain of that, but I did see something in print to say that it's been extended to the February or March of next year. Yeah. Are they going for AEP, or is it all going to go through on the AIS system?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it won't be going through AEP. Anyway, look, we hopefully she'll come back. She might get back online. In the meantime, Helen mentioned there is a CCC, a Customs Consultative Committee meeting tomorrow. So if there are any issues that you would like brought up, will you email Seamus with them this afternoon still, so that we can consolidate them and bring them up tomorrow at that meeting? It possibly will be the last. I don't know, will they have another one before B-Day or not? I guess they probably will try and squeeze one more in, but it'll be tight. So any issues you have, if you can let us know, and we'll bring them up tomorrow and try and get them resolved as best we can. Listening to Helen, it seems she's supporting the idea now of extending the AEP import system, extending the availability of that for a period, which I think will be useful, but there will still be a huge pressure on us to maintain the drive to make sure that AIS is working. So we still need to keep engaging with AIS as much as possible, and then keep feeding the questions and the issues back into Seamus. Like Helen is very good at trying to find solutions for us, well, not for us necessarily, but for the nation. So to be fair to her, like, she has been responsive to us and is very generous with her time. So if we can keep feeding the information to her, she will try and take action to get the issues resolved. So keep using AIS as much as you can, and let's see where we get to. I don't think Helen is back.
She's saying her connection has dropped. She's trying to get back in.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm sure we're all experiencing, Brian brought it up there, is the queries around parcels and clearance of parcels and how much it's going to cost to clear with, you know, the DPDs and these guys. And should customers set up in the UK, should they register a GB VAT number? Should they register with a GB EORI number and so on? And I think it would be worthy maybe of the association just to get some advice on that. We probably end up having to pay for it, but I think it could be useful for us to get some advice. And we have a council meeting coming up soon, and I would be suggesting that we'd spend some money with someone just to get some advice in that area that we could then share with the membership, that you could share with customers. Again, don't put yourself forward as being a VAT expert in any way, but there are a lot of queries coming up about that. So it might be helpful to get some guidance as to where and how people should deal with their B2C business, and particularly when they're selling DDP, as a lot of customers tend to do now. And what would be the best process? Should they have the duty in their basket, as they say, when they're selling the product, and try and do a deal then with whoever the operator is, that they're building in a customs clearance fee? So we'll come back to you on that anyway, but it is an area that certainly seems a lot of interest in. Are there any other issues there while we're waiting to see if Helen comes back on?
Yeah, Tom, sorry.
Oh, you're back, Helen.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Sorry about that.
That's IT for you. So Brian's question was around the e-manifest, and particularly, I suppose, for you know, these large parcel operators, whereas before they could do a bulk declaration for an e-manifest, under AIS that is no longer available to them. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's gone. They won't be able to do it. Like, we had the manifest in place as an interim solution, I suppose, to cater for a simplified declaration. It was never really, I suppose, you know, it was never really fit for purpose. But now with AIS, we have the I1. It is the data set as defined by the EU. It's the one that has to be used if someone wants to clear goods using the simplified declaration. That's the only way forward in relation to bringing goods in under a simplified declaration. One declaration per.
You broke up a little bit there, Helen, unfortunately.
Yeah, so basically it is one declaration per consignee. Per
consignment, yeah, okay. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's not ideal, especially, I suppose, now with Brexit and the e-commerce trade. That's where, you know, you're going to have the issues. Yeah, and
I've always kind of felt that's where we've gone from 1.3 million declarations to 20 million declarations. It has to be in that area, really.
Yeah.
Because it's not, if you only have 2 million vehicle movements on the sea, it has to be in the e-commerce that massive growth is going to take place.
Now we will have the H7 in July 1st, so again, maybe that will rectify the situation. That's something that, like, if you want more on that, I'd get my colleague John Christopher to come on a call, and he's, you know, he could provide you with more information in relation to the H7.
That's your super reduced data set.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. But as I said, it's not going to be introduced until the 1st of July.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's only 6 months, I suppose. Not too bad. So yeah, maybe one of our future calls we could do that, because it would be useful to have a heads up on that going forward, as they say.
Yeah.
Could I ask a question, please?
Yes, Liam.
Yeah, I have a directive from Revenue. It says in relation to transit. As regards ending the transit in IE, this was goods coming through from the UK via Northern Ireland into the IE. The Revenue's position is that the goods are to move to an inland privately operated TSF. In the past, we've been able to discharge the transit document at the Dublin port. Is that going to be affected? Does that mean that transits will no longer be or can be discharged at Dublin port? They must go to a TSF?
I would think that's an option. Maybe if you have a comment on that, Helen, I would think it's an option rather than a demand.
No, yeah, it is. It probably is an option. I suppose if you want to guarantee your movement and to minimize any delays, it's better if you go to an inland facility, because we will know from the MRN of the transit declaration, which will be in the PBN, that transit is ending at an inland temporary storage facility, and therefore the driver will get an exit the port. If that transit is ending in Dublin port, well then the driver is going to get called to customs and there will be delays. So it's all about minimizing delays, and that's probably why the advice is to end it in an inland temporary storage facility.
So it'll be a simplified procedure going to an approved consignee premises.
Yeah, I understand that, Tom. As I said, we often have goods, the particular product that we ship. As I said, it may come through Belfast into Dublin, or it may come direct from the UK into Dublin. And generally, we have been able to discharge the transit at Dublin port, and then.
But you can still.
Yeah,
we're being encouraged to use a simplified procedure to move to an inland, an approved consignee, but you could still have your transit made out to IEB, i.e. the UB 100, and discharge it at Dublin port.
That's good. Okay, thanks.
It's an option, not a demand, but we're being encouraged to move away from it quickly as we can.
Tom, just to come in there, I think what they have said now, and again, you could follow up, Liam, with whoever you got the advice of, but if you are ending your transit in Dublin port, you're going to have to lodge your declarations and release them into free circulation. So you're going to have the criteria is that you're going to have to pre-lodge your declarations associated with those goods that are moving on that transit. So that could be inconvenient, I suppose.
No, that's actually suits us, because they come in under letters of authorization, and we pre-enter the goods, you know.
Okay, well then in that case there is no problem. You can do that. What will happen is when you input your MRN into the PBN, Revenue will also be looking for the MRNs of the pre-lodged declarations, and assuming then that they're all in, you know, while there will be a little bit of delay because you will be told to call to customs, if you have all your declarations pre-lodged, well, that will help the situation. And yeah, like that, you know, that can be done. But just to bear in mind that you will get, or the driver will get, a call to customs because the transit is ending in Dublin port. They'll be directed to the transit lane, and assuming everything else is in order, hopefully they won't incur too much delays, but there will be a certain amount of delays. That's just inevitable.
Right. Okay. No, that's no problem. As I said, it's just once the option is available, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Do we know what codes we need to be entered for deferring VAT from January the 1st?
I do, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Let me see now. Sorry. I have it here.
It's 1AL1, is it?
I think it is. Just verify it now. Yeah, so it's actually, no, it's 1A05 in data element 2.3.
And with Brexit from January, will only customs duty be taken on arrival and the VAT won't? I seem to remember last year this was mentioned in that VAT would be done on customers' VAT returns.
Yeah, so basically, as far as I know, and I think just to bear in mind that we just have to get Oireachtas approval on this, but the government expectation is that we will have postponed accounting. So anyone who is VAT registered, all they will need to do is input the code 1A05 in data element 2.3. I don't think there's any requirement after that. They don't have to look for an authorization or anything like that. That basically is telling customs that they're deferring the payment of VAT. Again, the only criteria is to be VAT registered.
Yeah, and there is, I know KPMG and a few of them have done some advice on that as well. Like the customer has to record it in their first VAT return after the import has taken place, otherwise they could be liable to a fine. So in theory, at least, it is before the Dáil, and once they sign that order, then that we will be dealing with postponed accounting for VAT from January 1. So that will take a lot of pressure off us as well. So fingers crossed that follows through. And then there's a question, right, this is really for us as freight forwarders. Are we aware of any system which Irish freight forwarders can lodge an export UK entry for an export into Ireland on behalf of clients? Yes, you can access the UK chief system. If you talk to your software provider, Time IT or Customs Matters or whoever it is, talk to them about getting access on the UK side, about getting badged up with HMRC. But it is possible to do that, yeah.
Hello, Tom.
Yes, Seamus.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify the question that I asked earlier regarding the duties and taxes and when they're deducted from the deferred account. It's our what we intend to do is to try and have our entries pre-lodged before arrival, just so that the traffic can stream through. And my main concern is that if I have a SAD that's pre-lodged, first of all, when exactly do I get the acceptance? And secondly, then if it gets goes for green routing and it's then discovered that there's not enough funds, what do I do? Do I stop at the port, or what do I do with the goods if I have a truckload and one shipment hasn't enough on the deferred?
Yeah. So the cash will be taken when the routing is given. So the PBN will deal with the declaration. And if you're getting a green routing, then the cash is going to be taken at that point. So, yeah.
At that point, it'll be already en route.
Pardon? Sorry, Seamus?
At that point, it'll already be en route and could possibly arrive.
Well, you don't get the routing when you get the routing 2 hours out. So you will know 2 hours out if you're green, orange, or red. If you're green, then the cash has been taken at that point. If it's orange or red, then you need to deal with those issues. If there is insufficient funds, then if it's at 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know, can you go onto RevPay and top up and have it sorted before the truck arrives? I'm not sure if RevPay is a 24-hour system or not, from the point of view of changing the cash over.
If we're using the customer's deferred account and they're still in bed.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's going to be one issue where we'll have to try and manage it with customers to make sure they have sufficient cash in place. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Helen.
If I have a truck with 20 shipments and 19 of them run smoothly, and just that one particular one, does the whole truck have to stop at the port, or what?
Yeah, because you'll have one rejected entry, so you won't get a green routing. You won't get a green routing for the truck.
No.
So you will be stuck until the cash is there and that declaration gets routed. And once you've decided to pre-declare, you cannot bond. Then once you've decided that you're going to pre-declare, you're in the port until you get cleared.
Okay, so there isn't an option then to say, okay, bring it to a TSF.
No.
Okay. I don't know if Helen is still there, but No, you
No.
can't, because you could have 19 declarations already routed at IEDUB 100.
No,
and
no.
one that's,
I mean,
we've lost Helen again.
I mean, if you're, I'm sorry, my connection seems to be very bad today. Apologies, but if you are moving it to a TSF, you need to know in advance of the goods getting onto the ferry. You're either moving it to a TSF or you're not. You can't decide midway through that you want to move the goods to a temporary storage facility. That's just not possible. Yeah, so you'd have to know it in advance.
Yeah. Colin D would like to ask a question about VAT deferment.
Hi, all. I just wanted to know, just in relation to the point there of the VAT deferment, that we're using 1A05 and 23 in the data information. Can I ask, are we still then to, obviously the 23, does that represent the VAT level? And then are we still to enter 1D29S? Or is it like, do you know what I mean, depending on what the VAT level is on the entry as well?
The 1A0, what did I say?
1A05.
I think it is. Or 1A05, sorry,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's entered in data element 2.3. So it's just the data element field that I was referring to as 2.3. Yeah, okay.
So we're still entering the 1D29S or Z or F, whatever it might be, for the VAT level.
As far as I know, you are, yeah.
All right, perfect. That was it. Thank you.
Okay,
no problem.
Thanks.
I think we've just gone over 2 o'clock, so maybe we'll call it at that, guys, if that's okay. And thanks again, Helen, for engaging with us today. It's very useful, and hopefully it's a good learning process for our members. And if you could work on maybe on an FAQ that may help our members then and take some pressure off the help desk. And when you were offline there, I did say to the members, if they have questions for the CCC, to please send them in, and we will bring them up tomorrow at the CCC meeting. And in the meantime, let's keep engaging with AIS as much as we can, keep pushing to make sure we are as familiar as we can be with it, because it is the solution at the end of the day. So it seems to be we're making good progress. I feel we're making good progress here, so let's keep it up. And we can talk again maybe in a week or so when we see what happens tomorrow with the CCC. Thanks, Helen. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, all. Bye.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, guys.
Let's change.